Okay, and the train would start its journey from Guwahati, covering the shrines in Odisha and West Bengal. Okay, now in May 2017, the government has decided to fast the track its project to connect the Kashmir to the rest of the country by rail. So the project is worth $1.49 billion, and it will enable the trains to operate between New Delhi and Kashmir within 14 hours. Okay, now the Indian Railway Catering, so this is IRCTC. So Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation, okay, has decided to launch two new circuits, okay, of its flagship luxury train. And what was the train luxury name? The Maharaja Express in 2017. Now these two new trips which are named as the Southern Jewels and also as the Southern Sojourn. So two more trips, the two new trips which are named as Southern Jewels and Southern Sojourn will cover the prominent destinations in South and West India. Okay, now under the budget of 2017-18, the railway lines of 3,500 kilometers will be commissioned, and at least 25 stations will be awarded for station redevelopment during this year. Okay, so this is very important, and there are certain more announcements made in the railway budget. So let me mention it one by one. So announcements made in the railway budget. Okay, so the first one is revenue based strategies. Okay, and the next one is turn around strategies for passenger traffic. Okay, the third one is also turnaround. So what is the first one we are going to talk about is that there must be a provision for online rail bookings, hotel reservations and retiring room by IRCTC, which adds the revenues of the Indian Railways, and they are focusing on international tourists, which will come up with lots of tour packages, okay, for foreigners. And so no fare hikes, so there must be no fare hikes have been announced so far in the railway budget, and Indian Railways has set a target of almost 5.95 billion revenues from monetizing the railways in the next 10 years. Okay, and by doing so the railway aims to increase its earning through traditional as well as non-traditional sources and reduce the expenditure. Okay, now talking about the turnaround strategies for passenger traffic, so there must be the fare for premium classes were reduced. So premium classes fare has been reduced so as to compete with the airlines, then luxury buses and personal transport vehicles. So the length of the popular trains, which has increased from 16 to 18 coaches, they have increased it to 24 to 26 coaches. Now, private participation is also encouraged for, especially for information technology was used to, make the ticket reservations more feasible to passengers, along with an, airline style upgradation from lower class to higher class, has been introduced for passengers. So if the passengers want to upgrade, they can do that also. And yes, increasing speed of trains in the 9 railway corridors to 160. Now the speed was first 160, now it has increased to 200 kilometers per hour to reduce the time of inter-metro journeys. Okay, so in January 2017, the Indian Railways, they awarded a contract to the State Bank of India, SBI, for installing 10,000 point of sales, that is the POS machines, at the PRS, that is the passenger reservation system, and UT's counters, okay, across India. Now, why have they done this? This facilitates cashless payment of ticket booking. Okay, so this is very, very important. As I told you, also many things have happened. Railway lines have increased, cashless transactions have increased, their bio toilets have been introduced, express trains have introduced, railway trains, like as I said, 3,500 kilometers of railway lines will be commissioned, railway stations, so 7,000 stations have to be filled with solar power in the medium term. Okay, as I said, and yes, as of 2016, there will be three new trains which will be extended in the railway budget. Okay, so that is also the extension of trains is also having bullet trains. Yes, talking about bullet trains, so yes, that we have to study that if Mumbai is feasible for bullet trains, because they're planning to start the bullet train in Mumbai, and studies have been also working on that. So basically they will create a bullet train under the sea route of 10 kilometers, and the estimation of this value is $14.52 billion. Okay, and Indian Railways has also proposed a very modern train system which would save 20% of journey time, and where the engines can haul them. And similar, there will be a design of bullet trains which will provide a superior riding experience. Okay, so expected to be track, all this is on track from 2017. As for the railway budget 2016 and 17, the speed of the freight trains, okay, that also will be increased. That is called the mail or the express train would be increased to 80 kilometers per hour. Now, in coordination with the Japanese government, a high speed passenger train corridor between Ahmedabad and Mumbai is being undertaken, and the project is already started, as I told you, on at 2000 in 2017. Okay, so as I told you also that so these are the basic segments. Now over 1000 million apps are downloaded every month across different platforms such as iOS, BlackBerry, Nokia and Android. Okay, so this segment of railways is expected to be driven by increased mobile connections and availability of low range smartphones also. And who is taking this project? This is under the DFCCIL. It's a special purpose vehicle which was set up for implementing the DFC project under the administration control of the Ministry of Railways. Now the plan is to construct the dedicated freight lines along the eastern, that is the 1856 kilometer route length, and western, that is the 1500 kilometer route length parts of India. So joining east and west corridors. Okay, so the total length is 3,360 kilometers. Total estimation is $12.44 billion as on July 2016. Okay, so government as of 2017 has given there has been a physical progress of the project. There is no delay, and the contribution is of they are expecting to grow more to 37.1%. Okay, and yes, the World Bank has also granted a loan of US dollars 1,100 million. Okay, and they have also sanctioned a further $650 million in June 2015. So yes, there are a lot of objectives also of the freight corridor objectives also. And yes, modernization is also happening. Sleepers have been upgraded from wooden, steel. Okay, and yes, there have been heavier sections being where to strengthen the rail lines, replacing the analog type of machines with digital type machines, and promotion of better and improved techniques. Okay, so the modern bridge system and inspection, so there is an inspection management system has also started, which includes the non-destructive testing techniques under water inspections, then fiber composite wrapping and integrating testing. So this is all done under the sleepers and the bridges. Okay, and here the sleepers on steel bridges will be replaced with the environment friendly composite sleeper made of recycled plastic waste. Okay, and there is a design of the diesel locomotive is also the design, the entire design has changed also, where the faster trains will be converted to much faster, longer and heavier trains will be introduced. Okay, so there will be also a development of camera. Yes, so development of high sensitivity Thermal imaging camera with online scanning facility is also introduced to remove the, yeah, to improve the reliability of electronic transaction system. Now the Indian Railways has also introduced a mobile app. So what is the name of the mobile app? Atson Mobile. So Atson Mobile in Chennai, which would allow the passengers a paperless ticketing system, and it has considered to extend services in all the metros. Okay. So as I said, is like, the main focus is to revenue the models should generate revenue, review the projects, focus on enablers, mobilize the resources, modernize the core assets, and yes, to improve the information technology also. So this is very, very important. Okay, so that is why, as I said, so now let us go move on to the next segment, which we will talk about is the telecommunication sector in India. Okay, so we will talk about is the telecommunication sector in India, which is very, very important. As I told you also, that when we are talking about the telecommunication sector in India, how can we forget about it? Because that is majorly done, and it is very, very important also. When we are talking about telecommunication, we cannot forget about that. So that is also very important when we are talking about, railways or something. So telecommunication is also doing really good, and it's one of the best right now. So we will talk about is the telecom sectors. Okay, so we will talk about the telecommunication sector in India. Okay, because this is very important. Now the substantial progress has been made in telecommunications since early 1990s, and it's a success story. Like, if you see, the number of telephone lines has grown by 25 to 30% each year throughout the 1990s. Now the telecommunication has witnessed a revolutionary change in the recent years, and the Indian telecom network is now the second largest in the world after China. So only 76 million. So previously there were only 76 million subscribers in 2004, and now it has increased to 1200 million in 2016. So you can see the increase. Now telecommunication has undergone a lot of reforms. Okay, a lot of changes have happened. So in 1992 there was value added services to private sectors. Now the national telecom policy was introduced. Yes, so NTP, that is the national telecom policy, announced the opening of basic telecom services to competition. Now the privaters also could play, and the initiation of cellular mobile services started from 1994. Now private initiative was to complement the public sector efforts to raise additional resources through increased internal generation and adoption, adopting innovative means like leasing, then deferred payments, built operate transfer, and all this. Okay, so the NTP 1994 also gave provisions of public template loan, which could be available for almost 500 persons in urban areas and at least one in every village. Okay, so now the method was to employ both, the private into a basic and a cellular services, was through the auction of license fees and, other things. Okay, so once the licenses had been awarded, the operation started to perform. Okay, so since various developments have taken place in the telecom sectors, and new issues have risen, a new telecom policy was again introduced in 1999. So first it was introduced in 1994, and here the original license fee bids have been excessive. Okay, so there was inadequate competition resulting from the existence of only two operators in each circle. So there was continuous changes in the technology also happening, and yes, there was an emergence of India as a significant player in the IT industry also. So under the NTP 1999, a package for migration from fixed license fee revenue sharing was offered in July 99. Yes, and yes, the MTNL. So MTNL was very big, was allowed as a third operator. So there were two operators already. So MTNL became the third operator to provide cellular services to promote competition. Okay. And yes, there was also international long distance services which started in 2001. ISD, that is, okay. So both are subjected to license fees being paid as a revenue sharing, okay. So telecom industry changed from 1994 to 2001. The long distance calls also had started, and there was cellular mobile tariffs also which had fallen from 90%, okay. Now if you see, the tariff rates have also reduced a lot, okay. And yes, there was the Department of Telecom Services, that is DTS. So you have to remember here. So in the 2000 and 2001, there were two service providing departments of the telecom sector. So that was DTS and DTO. So DTS is the Department of Telecom Services, and DTO is the Department of Telecom Operations. So a new public sector was also introduced, BSNL. A new public sector company, that is Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, was also given all service providing functions of these two departments, and it was started its operation in October 2000. Okay. So with the introduction of effective competition in the cellular mobile services sector, the telecom regulatory, this is very important, the TRAI, so that is the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, made cellular mobile tariffs free. So it became free from, from 2000, okay. And it intervened that, so that there should not be any malpractices, okay. So if you talk about the recent developments also, like, there is a subscriber base has increased, and India has now become the second largest telecom network in the world. And almost 2.19 million internet subscribers are there as of now in March 2017, and India stands third highest in terms of the total internet users. Now, as of mobile based internet is a key component of Indian internet usage, okay, with 7 out of 8 users are accessing internet from their mobile phones. Now, since 2012, the share of time spent on watching videos on mobile devices has grown by 200 hours a year, okay. And some more information I want to give you, as of July 2017, the urban tele density has stood from 173.21%, and rural tele density has also increased to 54.45%. Now, availability is also there because of affordable smartphones, and lower rates are expected to drive the growth in the Indian telecom industry. So as I told you also, now India has become the second largest internet market in December 2014, and the government has been very proactive to transfer India into a global telecommunication hub, okay. So lots of regulatory has also helped because of this, and the government of India has also introduced the Digital India program, under which the sectors such as healthcare, retail, etc. will be connected through internet. So telecom penetration in the nation's rural market is also expected to increase further to 70% by 2017 from 55.92%, okay. So national telecom policy, this is very important. National Telecom Policy 2012 calls for unified licensing, okay. So that is full MNP and free roaming, okay. So roaming charges will not be there, there will be free roaming. So telecom market, if you talk about, let's see the market segments. So telecom market segments. So one we have is mobile, that is wireless. Then we have is fixed line, that is wireline. And the third segment we have is internet services. Okay, so this is very important also. So this is all the service providers. It's also called as ISPs, that is internet service providers. Okay, so this is the three ways where how internet has, how telecom market works. And yes, India is currently, as I told you, the second largest, and India's telephone subscribers has also increased. So if you see, the growth also in the Indian markets has increased a lot. Okay, and if you see over the market share also, it is like Bharti Airtel is the market leader right now in 2017 with a 23.70% share in the wireless subscription, followed by Vodafone. Okay, and the top 5 players in the sector now, even Jio has come. So Bharti Airtel, Vodafone Idea, Reliance Jio and BSNL. According to this, it is almost 77.42% of the wireless subscribers in the country are these 5 players in the telecom sector. Okay, so as I said, also there is a fixed line, and then the line segment also has increased here. So in the fixed line department, BSNL is the main shareholder here. Okay, followed with MTNL and Bharti Airtel. Together they account for 17% here. And yes, internet subscription also, it has increased, as I told you also. And overall the IP traffic is also expected to grow further. Okay, so this is very, very important also. If you talk about the broadband connection also, if you see, Reliance Jio has almost, Bharti Airtel is the highest, is 18.97, and Reliance Jio, if you talk about, it's coming up to almost, if you're talking about Idea, like 41. So these are the percentage, but the percentages keep on changing also. As you see, it's not the same, but yes, Airtel is leading in the telecom sector. So in the next class, we will discuss more further details about is the notable initiatives what the Indian government has taken for the telecom sectors, followed with the port sector and also the energy and the power sector. Thank you so much.